That's weird. I see a message from Nadine Morgan, but it was like it was there when the stream started, so maybe it's from the last stream. I don't know. That's weird. Um, will Theta continue going up next week? Let's take a look at Theta. We'll take a look at Theta in just a second, guys. I want to first take a look at S&P 500. And I made it in the morning a little bit later than I expected. My gosh, considering I was up way early, but the morning was busy. Interesting. So I had to open higher. That was off for sure. That's what that death card was about, though. Like that's why I was picking up on this trough here, and you can see how that took place. Not quite a lowest low, but definitely a very sharp drop. Princess of Cups. Yeah, so opportunity in here. Opportunity here in the midst of this drop probably would have been a little bit earlier today, but today there's opportunity there. It probably would have been at the open or just after the open, right? It's a really interesting reading. There's a lot of conflicting energy going on, but my sense is that we have a peak. Like if you take out like this price level here in the pre-market and you look at the price levels here, we probably have a peak in the last hour or just before the close. After a low, there's probably like a big move to the upside. I don't think it's a high per se because we've got the highs. I think the high was probably here as indicated by the high correlation in the pre-market. And this is a case where you see the abundance card kind of threw me off because the abundance card is not always like a new high or an all-time high or something like that. Sometimes it's just this move higher and then this move back down, creating a peak. Not, I mean, seldomly is it just that, but it does happen, and this is a case of it, right? And so then the orange correlation here between 10 and 11 is a correlation to the Empress card. Empress card is a good buy-up. Right, and we've got this resistance that we turn into support here between the 10 and 11 o'clock hour, creating another crest or peak here. It looks like that's pretty much taken place, right? This should turn into a sharp drop between 11 and 12, and then right around 12 o'clock we should have a notable rally. That rally is going to be that's sort of like a fake out rally, and then we have more decline into lows for the day there between probably between 2 and 3, but it could be between 2 and 3:30. Hey Robert, hey Terry T, hey Nadine. Hey Nadine, I saw your question. It popped on before, like it was on when my live started, which I've never seen before, but I don't know if that means I missed it from last time. All right, cool for now. So let me take a look. Oh, so you were on waiting for me? Is that what you mean? That's cool. I didn't know you could do that. All right, so the question was, does it continue going up next week or maybe the end of the month? Yeah, I think we've got quite a bit of quite a ways to go as far as to the upside here. I don't think it goes up all the way through the end of the month, but I think it goes up, pushing the upper end of a range higher, which is either this range here, $1.13, or it could be this range here, $1.36, or even $1.44, roughly the same range if you ask. But we're probably going to push that. We're in the midst of a move higher that'll push the upper end of a range higher. And then we come to a peak, like maybe like the third week, maybe the end of the third week, the beginning of the fourth week of the month. We should do some sideways rotation, and then there should be a pretty sharp drop into a trough in March, into a trough or a lowest low thus far. Can I take a look at Bitcoin? Had a pullback today. Could be due to CPI numbers coming out earlier. What you think? What you thinking for the 14th? More downside? Let's take a look. That's about right. All right, we've got this peak that formed. We have a prominent peak here, and then there's the halting of a bullish trend marked by a sharp decline through key support, right, taking us into an important trough on the cusp of the 12th, 13th. And then the Ace of Discs and the Princess of Discs are a little difficult to determine because what they're indicating is there's a really important support level highlighted there, but that's still pretty vague. An important support level on like a 1 year chart probably, or 1 month at least, but a 1 year chart scale. But it could be supported at a higher price level, it could be supported at a lower price level. There's some things that are indicating to me that it's probably to the upside. So I think what we do is we probably rotate sideways near these highs here. We probably make a couple more like bumps up against this price level here. I'm looking at theta. Sorry, guys. Let's take another look. Yeah, that's still the case. So we have this rally that's halted by a decline through key support. That'd be that Four of Swords price level right there. Interesting. So that was the key support that we broke through. And then there's day trade opportunity in both the 13th and the 14th. So that leads me to believe that there's a lot of price change. It's not just sideways rotation for either of these days, but a lot of price change in both days, because otherwise it wouldn't be a good day for a day trade, if that makes sense. So this is a way to deduce information. You have to think about it like that. That's a lot of what SO meta-analysis is about, is deductive reasoning. So in any case, you've got these two day trade opportunities back to back on the 13th and the 14th, and they also both have correlations to, like, secondary kind of correlations to a highest high, but then they also have prominent correlations to prominent peak, or strong correlations to prominent peaks. So I think we probably see some back and forth, like, price swinging going on here on the 13th and 14th. And in both of those cases, it looks like when we have, on a one-day chart on the 13th and the 14th, when we have a decline on a one-day chart, in the midst of that decline, there should be a sharp drop. That sharp drop offers opportunity, most likely, to open up a long position for a day trade. Yeah, okay, because the one day the low for the on the 1 day chart for the 13th and the low on the 1 day chart for the 14th they'll form within a period of volatility, and the volatility will end with the fast sudden move higher. So you're looking for a period of volatility after a period of decline with a sharp drop into a period of volatility. This is all on a 1 day chart, right? And you want to get in that period of volatility when we form a low on a 1 day chart before there's a fast sudden move higher, because that marks the end of it, and that means the low is in, right? And then you want to exit those day trades. Will form like a move higher through key resistance again on a 1 day chart, guys, on the 13th and again on the 14th. We'll have a move higher through key resistance. We'll stay above it briefly, creating a high, and then we'll break back down through that same price level shortly thereafter with the full retracement. So you want to go from that decline with the sharp drop into a period of volatility, enter into a long before a fast sudden move higher, marking the end of that bottom and that volatility. And then you want to exit in a period of price swinging when we have a move higher through key resistance, and then a break back down through that same price level shortly thereafter with the full retracement. That's the exact same information for both the 13th and the 14th. And that price level is most likely going to be what the Ace of Discs and the Princess of Discs are talking about. That move higher through resistance, we stay above it briefly and break back down through the same price level. So it's very likely, it could very well be this price level here, 49.9. It's at least this price level here, 49.008. Hopefully that was good for you. Oh, that's so cool to know. Thanks for letting me know, Nadine. Good to know. Hey, Proof. Is the SPY low this week and then continues upward for the remainder of the month? So I was expecting us to be lower today than we've gone. I mean, this was obviously a sharp drop. I was on point with the sharp drop right here. End of day yesterday marked a big, a notable decline. So this is an important trough, but I don't know if we're going to see like a lower price level than this, because I mean, the lows for the month are all the way down here. Like 48.4. So we're only about halfway there now. There is another sharp drop somewhere around the 22nd, 23rd. And then probably another one on the 27th, like off of it from the 26th into the 27th. But I think those sharp drops are very likely to be from higher price levels. Let me take a look on the 1 day and see what happens. Maybe it gives me different info. Yeah, so we open lower tomorrow. Okay, that's important to know. I'm deducing some info here, guys. Just give me a moment. All right, well, I'm getting there's a lower price level this month than where we currently are, but determining where that is a little difficult. I think we probably see lower price levels tomorrow. I'm getting mixed info. It's really hard to say, but we're pretty close to like the lowest price level that we'll see for the remainder of February. I'm not seeing anywhere specifically. Hold on a sec. It's unclear. Maybe if I ask the question tomorrow, I'm just getting a lot of really unclear information right now. It's probably my state of mind. It's been an interesting morning. But so to try and give you some somewhat of a clear answer proof, I would say we have higher price levels, or the same price levels as the high that we've seen in the remain at some point in the remainder of February. There's a shot that we have another, like, a lower price level than where we're currently at, and if we do, it's probably here in the next couple of days. But it's pretty unclear. Either way, there's a strong probability. We've got to see a lower price level. We just have to, based on what I'm seeing. It's got to be there. I want to find it, guys. Sorry, give me a moment here. It actually looks like there's a lower price level somewhere around the 21st, 22nd. And we do have some, like, cross-reading congruency and energies going on here. This is Princess of Cups energy, which was the theme card for the year, appearing in a pretty prominent place. Not the most prominent place, but a relatively prominent place. This is the low for the year that we really want to be, like, jumping in on here in May. Hey, Hamza Butt. I'm not sure what you mean by pumping against Bitcoin. Are you saying that, do I see altcoins going higher and Bitcoin going lower? Is that what you mean? I'm not sure what you mean by pumping against Bitcoin. Please elaborate. Yeah, I think we probably dance around here for a little bit, but see, this on the 11th, that was that breakout through this price level, right, which was the previous high from January. We had this breakout through it. That's the victory card on the 11th, and then the halting of a bullish trend here on the 12th. So as far as the sequence of chart events as predicted, the timing's right on point right now. We also had a high here on the 11th, on the cusp of the 11th, 12th. I mean, that's perfect timing. There's a chance that we see that price level again on the 14th. But we're at least going to dance around this price level of 48.9. It's possible we if we see a higher price level tomorrow than 48.9, it's probably going to be back up to, like, where the highs are. Actually, I think that's very likely, again, because we've got those day trade opportunities implying a lot of price change. Yes, Bitcoin dominance falling. Okay, let's take a look. And that's for... What else? Doge, XRP, Doge. Let's do those. Actually, let's do Ethereum first. Where the hell did the Bitcoin chart go? Okay. The very end of the month, Bitcoin has a really big move higher out of a trough, guys. So don't be like fooled by the decline here in like the second half of the month. There's a really big move in those last like 4 or 5 days. Whereas I don't really see that in Ethereum. Ethereum seems to have more lows. Like they both make lows in the third and fourth week, but it looks like Ethereum probably has like doesn't have this big move back out of it. If it could, it would be the 28th with that full card. But my sense is that we go lower in Ethereum out of the end of the month. Yeah, it looks like XRP's lows are towards the very end of the month as well, around the same time here. Looking at lows around like the 22nd to the 26th ish, somewhere around there for a lot of these coins. But then it looks like there's possibility of another low. There is also some pretty bullish energy here in the last couple of days of the month for XRP, so it probably catches a little bit of the Bitcoin move to the upside there. Um, yeah, SHIB doesn't really seem to have this big move at the end of the month either, but there are some indications of a high there at the end of the month, so we might see with this Knight of Wands. It's not a lot of bullish energy, not like we see here in Bitcoin. But again, we have like a low and then a low. We've got a low and then a low, a low and then a low, right? A low and then a low. They all have a very, very similar pattern, so I don't think they're going to diverge too much. I think maybe the very, very end of the month was last like 4 or 5 days where things get a little different. But in 2024, I most likely, if you pick a coin and compare it to Bitcoin, most likely, like I'd rather be in Bitcoin. Most likely, depends on the coin, but most likely. I'm not sure if you guys heard me talking on another live about how the more altcoins that come out, like people are like the altcoin industry is like perpetuated right now by the excitement from like those big spikes that like made people multi-billionaires overnight almost, you know. So like people are anticipating that happening again. What's the next coin that's going to happen to? But what they're not realizing, what they're not taking into account is the fact that every single coin, every new coin that comes out diminishes the amount, like the potency of that spike, because there's more coins to spread that money over. And the more coins that come out, the smaller that next big spike that people are anticipating will be, because there's going to be more coins to put the money into. So you want to be mindful of that, guys. We're not the same playing field anymore. You're welcome, Hamza. All right, guys. So I guess I'll probably cut it here, but I just want to let you guys know The channel's in a situation, guys. Doing really well at the end of the year, and then kind of like everything slowed down, which is okay. That happens in business, but at the same time, we also added expenses, and now we have the supporters, the financial support that we had coming through. Like we had investors. They're not in a position to be able to help anymore. If anything, I need to be able to help them now, which I can't do because I need to help the business. And so the business is in dire need of some help right now, guys. Otherwise, I'm gonna have to shut things down and go get a job. Like I'm not effing around here. So we're gonna throw another special offer up in the live probably this afternoon. We'll throw it out there. But if you've been thinking about doing a subscription, I'll give you guys a little tip. When we cancel subscriptions, there'll be like a one-time offer for a lot of the people whose subscriptions were canceled. So if you were thinking about subscribing to a subscription, now would be a pretty good time because, in other words, subscriptions are going to change. Prices may change as well. But you probably will have the price that you have right now locked in, even if things change. Just because we don't want to lose subscriber income or anything like that. But if you're thinking about doing it, guys, now would be a really great time to do it. If you've been holding off on the rule of karma for a good time to do it, now would be a good time to do it. And then we're gonna have another. It's either gonna be the same thing where we had you get 2 1-year readings for $350, or it's gonna be another attempt at that $500 off of the 1 month of consecutive daily posts. One of those two. Either way, if you've been thinking about subscribing, definitely now's a good time to do it, guys. We do need the support. Well, I appreciate that, Terry Tees, but to be quite frank, we may not make it till next month. Like our financier, gone. They dipped into their retirement account way too much. It's taken way longer than we expected to grow. And that's, that's kind of like with cutting edge. People they just look right over you because they don't take you seriously because you're cutting edge. It can't be possible. So, I didn't anticipate it taking this long to get this far. We've been doing pretty well, but it's too little in too long of a time. So, just throwing that out there, guys. And, if the universe wants it to be, the universe will have it be. If the universe doesn't want it to be, then, one day, poof, I won't be here anymore. But with that said, guys, I will be back on between 3 and 4 today for the members only, meaning that anybody can watch, only members can talk. If you're interested in becoming a member so that you can take part in that, you do so here on our YouTube channel. You just go to join. Supporter, and any of these will get you the star next to your name, which gives you access to the members only live streams, as well as it gives you priority response to any live streams that we do. Not to mention, it'll keep us around, my friends. I'll leave you guys with that. Love you guys. Thank you all so much for your support. And blessings to all my angel investors and my supporters. I'll see you guys around 3.